Let's take a look back in history today. Let's talk about the oldest existing Audi in the world. We should start with some background. August Horch was born in West Germany and became a smith first. With 20, he went to the outstanding private engineering school in Mittweida and studied engineering there. For more information on Mittweida and why so many outstanding engineers studied there, check out my other video. After Horch graduated, he worked for Carl Benz in Mannheim from 1896. The problems Benz cars had at the time were the laying cylinder, which created an uncomfortable vibration, and the fact that the engine was at the back meant it was loud and you were sitting pretty high. Young engineer Horch had lots of ideas of how to improve car design, but Benz didn't want to change a thing. And so Horch founded his own company, August Horch and Cie in Cologne in 1899. First he was repairing cars, then he started designing and building his own. He wanted to expand, but that wasn't possible. He found an investor from Saxony who invited him to come to Reichenbach, so he registered the company August Horch und Cie Motor- und Motorwagenbau in Reichenbach in 1902. Here, Horch produced two-cylinder cars with standing cylinders to avoid the shaking that Benz cars had. He positioned the engine in front under a cover so it was quieter and cleaner. Also, he used a prop shaft to drive the rear wheels, and he used materials especially for their purpose. So he used light metal for engine block, gearbox case and differential, and he used chromium nickel steel for heavily stressed gears. In 1903, he produced 18 cars. But also here he couldn't expand any further anymore, and he found another investor and moved to the nearby town of Zwickau. He registered the company August Horch Motorwagenwerke AG in Zwickau in 1904. AG means it's a stock company and Horch wasn't the boss anymore. There was a board now, and they didn't like that he spent so much money on expensive designs. The same problem Porsche always had. But Horch didn't want to compromise and only wanted to build strong and good cars, as he put it. Now in Zwickau, Horch built four-cylinder engines. Special was that they were not two pairs of cylinders together, it was one block with four cylinders. Horch further improved the cars, and in 1906 Dr. Stöß could win the Herkommer race, the most demanding race at the time, with a Horch car. In 1908 Horch produced already more than 100 cars. In 1909 the disagreements between Horch and the board became too much and Horch left his own company. But the board knew what a genius engineer he was and feared that he would now found a competitor company. To avoid that, they secured not less than 26 naming rights, such as Horchwagen, Auto Horch, and even A. Horch. Horch didn't know or didn't care and founded his own new car company just 500 meters away. He registered the company just 1 month after he left as August Horch Automobilwerke GmbH. And by the way, this is the factory that would later produce the Trabant and which is the Auto Union Museum today. And immediately Horch AG, his old company, sued him. He wasn't allowed to produce cars with that company name. So he did it like he started Horch. He repaired cars. And his image of an excellent engineer brought him lots of customers. But it was clear that he wanted to build cars again and needed a solution for the naming problem. They held a meeting at his friend's flat, Franz Fickinger, and it was clear that they wouldn't leave the room without a solution. In the corner of the room was a son of Fickinger who did his Latin homework. Horch later described that the most impossible naming ideas came up before the son shouted from the corner, "Audiatur et altera pars. Why don't you name it Audi?" That was the Latin translation of Horch's name. Everyone was baffled and they had a new name. Now Horch registered the company as Audi Automobilwerke mbH in April 1910, and already a couple of weeks later they produced the first car with the name Audi. Horch's philosophy was always to participate in big races to test and improve cars, and also to publicly show how good his cars were. And so, one of these first Audis already won a reliability race in Sweden shortly after in 1910. In May 1911, Horch himself participated with his own car in the Austrian mountain race, which was one of the hardest car races at the time. Only 10 out of 75 cars reached the finish. Horch won. His car was an Audi Type A with a 4-cylinder light metal engine block, diff and gearbox. It had a prop shaft and many other proven features he developed at Horch before. Here, he used a wide engine block which worked as a stressed member and increased front stiffness. And he even developed aero upgrades to reduce drag for races. And exactly at this time, the German mathematician, philosopher and inventor Paul Palme-König, who lived in Steinschönau, or today Kamenický-Senov in Czech Republic, ordered exactly this car. An Audi Type A with a sport phaeton called body, and even with the drag-reducing aero mods. So Palme was a technical guy himself and knew about good design. This car started at 8,500 Reichsmark, which was pretty expensive and was known to be a reliable, successful race car. That was ahead of its time. And everybody knew that August Horch was behind Audi, which was another selling factor. When the First World War started, cars were being confiscated for the military, and to be able to keep his outstanding car, Palme disassembled it and stored it in his attic. He didn't assemble it anymore, and it stayed there during the Second World War. After the Second World War, Germans were banned from the area, but Palme was allowed to stay because of his outstanding research, especially in glass technology, which pushed the city's economy. Palme died in 1958, his house with a laboratory was confiscated and then used by the local school later on. They discovered the disassembled car in the attic after more than 40 years and sent the parts to the National Museum in Prague. They assembled the 1911 Audi Type A again, and today it's the oldest Audi in the world. You can find it in the National Museum in Prague, so check it out if you want to see this impressive piece of car history in reality. Don't forget to check out my other historical videos and consider to become a B-Sport Club member for more videos like this. See you at the next one.